We grew up in a world that told us the future belonged to those who could code. Knowing how something should look and feel wasn't enough. You had to know how to build it, too. But now, everything's shifted. Code is a material, as shapeable as texture or color. And ideas no longer have to wait their turn. So now, the question isn't, can it be made? It's what would you make if you could make anything? You'd probably start by following your curiosity, going wide before going deep, making and remaking until it feels right. The point isn't just to make it faster. It's to take it further, together. The future doesn't just happen. It's built by design.
Please welcome to the stage Figma CEO and co-founder, Dylan Field.
Hello. Welcome. Welcome to Config 2026. I am so excited to be here with all of you today. And this, I don't have to tell you, but this is an incredibly special group. Truly, we have some of the greatest design and creative minds in the world gathered here today. And I want to give a special shout out and thank you to everybody who flew in from far away. We are honored you're here. Thank you. Also, for those remote, a huge thank you to you as well. Whether you're at a Friends of Figma watch party or you're tuning in remotely, thank you for joining us. We know you're here in spirit. This is our 10th config. And reflecting on how this community has grown, has evolved over the years, honestly, it just makes me quite emotional. And it honestly feels like yesterday that we were introducing hyperlinks to the canvas at our first config in 2020. Things felt simpler back then. Because today, technology is moving faster than ever. And as designers, we always question things from first principles. It's how we work. And this moment of acceleration, that's no different. This is also, though, it's also a time of exploration, new workflows. And let's be real, it's a time for some big existential questions about design, about creativity, about the world. In a moment of such change, community is more important than ever. So here's my ask of all of you. Go outside of your comfort zone today and tomorrow. If you see someone standing alone, not knowing what to do at config, just introduce yourself. If you see someone that you really respect, that you know their work, you're a fan, go say hi. Ask them, what are you thinking about? Don't just catch up with your old friends, make some new ones as well. I like that you started the applause there, whoever did that, thank you. Config is a unique place, and it's a unique place for so many reasons, but one of them is because everyone here is fundamentally kind. This is a community defined by connection and curiosity and care. And everyone here viscerally understands, appreciates the value and the importance of design. We're all in this together. And even if you see someone wearing a design is dead hat, like, they get it too, trust me. A few years back, I said, maybe some of you were there, at Config, that AI will lower the floor and raise the ceiling. And I think it's been true, definitely, that AI has lowered the floor. Not so sure about raising the ceiling yet. So how do we raise the ceiling? I look out at all of you. You all raise the ceiling. And I deeply believe that in the months, the years ahead, there will be an absolute explosion of creativity, risk-taking, and bold expression. Much of this creativity will come from all of us assembled here. No tool, Figma included, should limit your ability to push your creativity further and bring your ideas to life. And here at Figma, we wake up every single day motivated to build the next generation of tools and workflows to enable all of you to design, to create in a totally unbounded way. And that brings us to some very exciting product updates. For Config 2026, we have focused on two things. First, new materials to express anything you can imagine. Second, new tools to shape these materials and to push them further than ever. So, what do you say? Let's get into it? Yeah? The first material, we got this. The first material that we're going to discuss today is one that you all know very well, code. One question that has kept coming up throughout the history of Figma, and I think across the design community, is when should you work in code? For years, the design industry has endlessly discussed this topic of design versus code, and I will just say it flat out right now, this is a false debate. Code is not the opposite of design. Code is material for design. For too long, tools have forced a choice, and they shouldn't. Figma shouldn't anymore either. So, to share more about what we mean here, I'd like to please welcome Nico to the stage.
Thank you, Dylan, and holy shit, hello, Config! I'm so excited to be here. When I was in university in Germany, shout out to Hochschule für Gestaltung Schwäbisch Gmünd. Say it with me. Hochschule für Gestaltung. No, just kidding, you don't have to. I studied interaction design, and code was one of my favorite materials. Like, I had this one solo project that I really, really fell in love with. I was trying to visualize the gradients of sunrises and sunset. I stayed up multiple nights in a row, writing thousands of lines of code to get these effects working. Code was wonderful to go deep into a rabbit hole with me. Fast forward a few years. Who here remembers this UI? Let's go, let's go. This was Figma when I joined as an intern 8 years ago. And a couple weeks after, Dylan took me for a walk out here in Yerba Buena, actually, and asked me to join full time. I called some old colleagues, and they were like, yeah, design tool in the browser, like, and then on Reddit it said, like, oh, that's like a car with 3 steering wheels. And so I was like, I don't know. But I actually already was sold, because I had experienced a shift. Instead of working alone, I got to jam with amazing designers like Noah, Brady, Peter, and Sho, so many side by side. designing with vectors and graphics has moved away from being done in isolation and became this beautiful collaborative activity. I believe that we will be experiencing the same shift with code. And it is a wonderful material, but while agents have made it so much easier to write thousands of lines of code, the workflows around code are not built for exploring together at all. We're working in silos. Each one of us is like hundreds of prompts deep with our own agents, and then like at some point we look up and we kind of like throw prototype recordings at each other, hoping that they'll inspire us, only to realize that we're not working together anymore. At Figma, we know that there's a better way to design and build. One in which we can work side by side in whatever material we choose, including code. So let's take a look at what we've been working on. So over here, you're probably familiar with an editor like this, right? Like you have a prompt box, you have a preview, and you can go pretty deep. It's amazing. I've lost hours in this. But you need more space to explore and to compare, to get the bad ideas out so you can find the great ones. So we're very, very, very excited to announce that code now lives on the Figma canvas. Meet code layers. They bring the full power of code to the space you already love. And it's incredibly easy to interact with them. Just zoom in, as I'm in right here, and I could just drag around, or over here, I can interact, see a couple of different weathers. Yeah, of course Miami's nice, and welcome to San Francisco. It was foggy this morning. So don't forget to bring your layers. See, yeah, there I get it. And it's incredibly easy to create code layers. So I have a design file, a design layer, right? And what I can do is I can just click here, and I can click this button, and I can say, build this with code. That's one way. The other way is if you zoom down here, you see there's a new button in the toolbar, right? It's the code tool. And it's going to create a code layer for you. And just like that, you can start prompting. And it's easy, but we know that many of you have existing code bases as well, like prototyping playgrounds. And if we zoom over here, select this layer, we can very excited to announce that we will allow you to import repositories from GitHub or upload local folders directly onto the Figma canvas. I'm so excited about that one. I'm so excited. Anyway, but how do you know that if you have something working, that it's good, right? You need to be able to easily compare, see things side by side. We've made that easy too. So over here I have a couple different explorations, and if I wanted to play them all, you can select one and hit play. Select the next one. No, just kidding. You can select them all and hit enter, and instantly you have multiple separate code bases running right in front of you. And let's interact with a couple of them. So over here, we got this nice little glitchy effect. Oh, I like the 3D cube. Drag some cards around. I think my favorite actually is this S-curve. Actually, I'm curious now, how did this S-curve was created? So when I go in here and I open this, the cool thing now is that because it's in the Figma canvas, the chat is shared. So for example, I can see, oh, Pete was asking what's changed yesterday, and oh yeah, nice, Guy explained this S-curve to me. This is cool, so I can just catch up too, and I can understand how my colleagues use code and agents to create. But I want to make a riff now. Okay, let's go back here. Let me show you how you create a branch with code layers. You just hold down the Option key and drag the layer. That's it. This is an interaction. This is an interaction you all have done millions of times. And so now let's make the change. The thing I want to do here is actually, let me just click here. Yeah, what should I say? Now, when a card is in the center, make the background color fit to the focused card. Thank you. I like talking to agents because it's just so simple. It'll probably get it. Okay, but last though, while code layers can be so beautifully deep, we as humans think spatially, right? We need to see things side by side. We need to see the whole flow at a glance to make the right decisions about what our users should experience. So let's take a look at how we can explode this layer. So here I'm going to zoom in. Let me turn the UI on again. And what we've done here is we've built this feature, extract design, and then I can click on record flow. And now, as I'm interacting with this, I can just click over here, go to the profile page. Now let's go to the events. And let's click on biking. Oh, there's no events found. That's a good state. Let me work on those. And when I click stop, we will extract all of the states and give you a bird's eye view. And so, seeing this overview makes it easy for others to understand and help. Oh, hi! As if we planned this. Hi, Tammy and Peter. What's up? Okay, yeah, you want to help me make some riffs? Let's go. Okay, I'm going to actually work down here on this one. Because the cool thing is it's just design. It's just a design layer. So what I can do now is go to Assets, click on Created in this library. And I kind of want to fix this empty state up. So let me drag in this one here. Let me Option H and V to align this. But I don't know. I don't love this. Because it's a little sad. If there's no events, I should be happier that I can find events, right? So let me change this to, what did I say? I think it was oh yeah, find events. And let's change this smile, turn the smile, frown, upside down. But this was what I created. Let me see. Damn, of course they created better things than me. But okay, I'll select this one over here, and I'll select this one. I like these updates. And so the cool thing is, as you can see down here, when we've broken something out from code to static design, we can now click Update Code Layers. And what this is going to do is it's going to analyze what has changed so our coding agent has the least amount of work to do. And since code layers are connected to GitHub, you can push those updates back. And when those updates are in your repository, you can pull those updates from wherever you are. Let me see. Damn, lots of people in here. Oh, nice. Okay. Because code is now an intuitive material for you all to work with. We cannot wait to see what you'll create. Personally, I do really hope that you'll make a mess. A beautiful mess. Because this right here really is what enables collaborative creativity. This feeling that got me so excited about Figma in the first place. And one more thing. These people here and many, many more behind the scenes have worked hard to make this a reality. So please give them a big round of applause. Every code layer you've seen is powered by Make, which we've been hard at work at improving as well. Just in the last few months, we have shipped plan mode, voice to text, web search, NPM packages, and so much more. And just recently, we shipped a massive update enabling you to locally on your machine work directly on your production code base. With this and code layers, we will allow you to go from exploration all the way to implementation. Code layers are launching in a closed beta. You can sign up for the waitlist, and we'll start onboarding users in July. It'll be available on full seat on all plans, full seat users on all plans. Exploring code spatially isn't the only workflow that is coming to the canvas today. To tell you about the next one, I'm incredibly excited to introduce Itai Schiff. Thank you so much.
Hello, config. Wow. I'm one of the co-founders of Weavy, now Figma Weave. We've joined Figma last fall, so it's my first time at config. Woo. I'm so excited. Before Weave, I've spent 25 years in post-production, first as a VFX artist and then as a creative director. I became, obviously, obsessed with AI the moment that it could generate my face. Well, I was generating like crazy, and I kept running into the same problem. You know it. Making something interesting was easy. Making something usable for real projects was hard. That's because creative work isn't about single prompting. It needs references, iterations, consistency, feedback, and that's why we built Weave, a platform where professionals can build their own creative workflows, their own tools. And now it's becoming integrated into the Figma platform. Let me show you. So, this is what creative workflows usually look like. Wait, who here worked with node-based interfaces before? Raise a hand. Whoa, quite a few. That's nice. Okay. For those of you who didn't, nodes in Weave can either hold information, like images, videos, 3D models, or perform an action through AI models, but also through more manual controls, like color grading, timelines, etc. Let's dive into some examples. This simple use case is for generating 360 product videos. We start with back and front images of our product. We go through a sequence to provide consistency, and we get a smooth 360 video. The interesting part, I think, about it is that once you build a workflow like this, you can run it once across all your product and get consistent results. Let's look at another one of my favorites. It's a fast rendering engine, right? Sometimes you want to examine concepts without going through the laborious shading and rendering processes. So you add your lo-fi animation here, maybe your logo mark animation, and a style reference. This is the style reference. And quickly you get a stylized render. Same animation, new style. And if you change the style reference over here and run the flow, you'll get a newly stylized render, right? So you can iterate on ideas really, really fast. Let's look at one last workflow. Imagine a scenario where you get product photos from different vendors. You know it, different lighting, different quality. It's a mess. Normally, you'd make them black and white and try not to think about it, right? But with Weave, you can build a workflow, something that looks about like this. You can build a workflow for style transfer that analyzes each product and applies the same visual language. This is the outcome. Look at this. The hat, the shoes, the shirt, they now look like they belong together, right? Finally. And if you change your reference image, you'll get the same set, but rendered with a different style, obviously. And I have great news. Today, we're bringing these Weave workflows as tools to the Figma canvas. Yes, yes. OK, let's see how it looks. This is the exact style transfer workflow we just saw. Let's go to the tools and select the bulk style transfer. We click on the images we want to input into the style transfer. We select the style we want to use, and we click Generate. Up, Shift-A, K. OK, let's just put these in place. While they render, we can examine other workflows, or maybe, let me tell you that we took the most popular Weave workflows and exposed the inputs and the outputs only, right? So the same workflow runs in the background. You don't have to worry about the noodles anymore. You can use them right here on the tools list. Oh, this got updated. We can see we have our cohesive bunch rendered. Let's go quickly over some other tools we have. This is the sticker pack. It's here. You just upload my image, you select Kawaii, render, and generate, and you'll get my stickers. This will work only with my image. Don't try it with your own, all right? Guys, some other tools. We have the replace background, which performs amazingly. You just upload an image, select whatever you want for the background. It renders it immediately. The texturize, one of my favorites. Anything you upload, write whatever texture you want, implement it to it, and you get it. Add logo to product. You have your logo. You can get it rendered on a product. Simple tools to do simple tasks. Or generate mockups from whatever design asset you have. But the best workflows, obviously, are the one you build yourselves, tailored exactly to your team's unique creative vision. For me, this is the most exciting. You aren't limited to just the tools we ship. Soon, you'll be able to package your own creative workflows as tools and share them with your team right here in the Tools panel. To help you get started, all Config attendees will see some extra Weave credits when you sign up. Now, some of you may have noticed, yes, it is fun. Some of you may have noticed other tools in the list beside Weaves. That's interesting. To tell you more about them, please welcome Georgia and Raji.
Hello, Config!
Let's make some noise! Yeah! It's super cool being on stage with this queen today. This is Georgia Rust. No, not the Rust programming language, but equally as badass. She's a product leader at Figma and an amazing friend.
But this king next to me literally is a king. This is Raji King. He is an incredible designer and one of my favorite people to build with.
Georgia, let's not leave these folks on a cliffhanger too long, and let's show them what other tools are in this panel.
Let's do it. If I come over to this tools panel, you'll see some of those new tools that Itai was talking about. You'll see Weave tools here, and you'll see a few other tools in here, like plugins. It has been so amazing to see the plugins that our community has made over the years. But sometimes it can be hard to find the plugin that you need in the moment when you need it. I just wish it was a little bit easier for me to build the plugin that I need right now.
So, starting today, you can generate plugins with the Figma agent. Now, we all have our own unique workflows, and we wanted to make it possible for anyone to build the tool they need in the moment, no coding required. All right, friends, let's hop on board the Agent Express. First destination, Plugin Town. So Georgia and I are working on an audio app design. Georgia, what are you up to?
Yeah, so I've been working on this design, and you can see I have some cool rectangles here that I've been drawing. But I really want them to have that organic look and feel. Right now, they're just a little bit flat. So I'm gonna ask the agent to create a plugin to randomize the height of all frame content so it looks like a real audio waveform. And I'm on stage at Config, so I don't want it to ask me any questions. I just want it to send it and see what it makes. I'll send the agent off on its journey, and while I do that, I want to tell you a little bit about these plugins. Generative plugins are a little bit different than the plugins that you know and love. They don't require the desktop app, you don't have to write a single line of code, and they can be made with just a few prompts. And they live in your file in the Properties panel that you can see here. You can discover, use, and share these plugins directly in the file. No publishing required. Some of the ones you see here were built by me, but some of them were built by my friends. A lot of us have our favorite plugins that really help us with our day-to-day productivity. And generative plugins are perfect to build for your specific workflows. Let's see an example. My friend Miggy, who maybe some of you know, shout out to Miggy. He is an amazing designer and a lover of all things layouts. And he's building dozens of bentos every day for his specific style. To recreate it, he normally has to make a bunch of manual adjustments, tweaking grids, colors, spacing, and making sure he's adding the right content. So to do this over and over again, he built a new plugin. Miggy built this bento grid builder plugin so that if he selects these layers, he can instantly generate a bento that looks just like the Miggy look and feel. Thank you. Shout out Miggy. He can randomize the layout, reshuffle the images until he gets something that he's happy with. Plugins can also be built for your personal needs, for your brand, your workflows, or the data sets that you're using day in day. Our friends at Athletics Agency built a plugin for their client, Alba Racing, to create real-looking racetracks all around the world. If you're a big F1 fan, this one's for you. Okay. They created this plugin using real data that charts out racetracks around the world. I can update the racetrack. Let's go to Monaco. Change some of the controls. Maybe I don't want to have those turns on there. And I can adjust the aesthetic to be a bit more of the vibe that I'm looking for. Again, this is all built with real data under the hood, so those visuals are staying true to the actual layouts. And when this project is handed off, the plugin will go with it. Their client gets not only the design file, but the tools that they use to build it. Let's check in on our agent. It looks like it has something for us. If I'm gonna go grab my waveform and open my new plugin. Okay, let's see what it made. It made me this little waveform randomizer. Let's just send it and see what it does. Okay.
Oh yeah, smash that button.
I love that. It's a little bit bigger than I'd like, so maybe I'll try this on another layer and adjust the height a bit. Let's do 50. I'll send it one more time. All right. That's looking way better than what I could do on my own, and now I don't have to go and update all of those rectangles by myself. There's something here that I love, but I feel like I could take it a little bit further now that I have my first draft. So if I wanted to, I could edit this plugin and go back to the agent and continue to rev. Let's say I wanted to do something like maybe have a real song that powers this. So I could update this to take a real MP3 and make this even more lifelike. A lot of us have ideas like this that we would love to have, but we talk ourselves out of building the plugins because it just feels like too much work. Building generative plugins makes it possible for you all to say yes to building the tools that you wish existed in Figma. That random idea that's specific to only your workflow, you can build it. That workflow that might help your coworker spend 5 minutes less doing something in their week, just build it. Or that idea that sounds too silly to actually create, just try it out, see what happens. I want to show you one more that's one of my favorites. I work with this woman, Lauren, who is an incredible engineer. She's somewhere here in the audience today. And she is an engineer on our team, but is also obsessed with her nail design. So for config, she built a nail design plugin that can generate different nails in the config aesthetic. Let's check it out. I can update the style of the nails in this tool. Ooh, I like that spiral. But I think I want more of like an oval shape. I like that. And yeah, I can't do long, so let's just generate the medium size. All right. I can play around with this, maybe take it to my artist, and get something amazing that's on brand for config. The other thing is, if I want to understand how Lauren built this plugin, I can go back into the agent chat and find the conversation she had to learn how she built this tool. I can get an understanding of how she got to the controls she wanted, and I could take it from here to either make it my own. The best part about these is that you can build these with any idea that you have on the top of your head. It can be something unique to you, or it can be something that helps out a friend.
This is so rad. It's actually one of the coolest ones I've seen. But I get so jazzed when I see my friends making cool stuff with this.
I love it too. And we have had a wild ride building together the last few months. We have had so much fun building generative plugins. It's been amazing to see what our team has done with this. But we didn't want to stop here.
Yeah, we've been building something else. Something that I've wanted in Figma for ages.
Y'all, I can't even, oh yeah, give it up.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I can't even tell you all how long Raji has been talking about this. I swear I have been hearing it for months.
Years?
Okay, I'm sorry, years. My bad.
I actually clocked it at about 4.5 years, and we finally get to talk about it today. Does anybody know what it is? Nobody. Perfect. Okay, friends, the next stop on our little journey is shader time. Yeah! Starting today, shaders are in Figma.
Now, if you've never heard the word shader before, don't freak out.
Well, you've definitely seen them. Like, this might seem like a simple gradient, but guess how it's made? Shaders. Progressive blur, that's a shader. Our glass effect, shaders. I think you're getting the picture here. They're wildly powerful at bending pixels to your will, if you know how to wield them. And shaders have existed in Figma, living in the shadows of our core canvas rendering. Are the shaders in the room with us?
The catch is that they've been kind of difficult to make.
Yeah, like geek out on math for 4 years difficult? I would know. If only there was a way to make them yourself.
Starting today, you can create your own shaders with the Figma agent.
All right, let's go. Okay, this is an image. All right, so I had this idea for like an effect that I want to put on this image in this composition. But I don't really know the words to describe it, but I kind of know what it looks like. I've seen pictures of it on the internet. So I'm gonna go ahead and go to my agent, click plus, and I'm gonna add images and files. And I'm gonna grab this here. Whoop, not that one. This one here. This is kind of the style I'm hoping for. So I'm gonna add this into the agent, and I think agents are pretty good at picking up on these kinds of things. All right, and now I'm gonna prompt live on stage, so wish me well. All right, so I'm gonna say, create me I just want a static effect that looks like the effect in this image. I know you love it when I talk out loud like this, it's so cool. I'm a bit busy right now. Yeah. So don't ask me any questions.
Be nice to your agents, guys.
All right, I will ask you questions, and I've actually found it to be amazing. Like, it'll ask you and teach you things about shaders, and so I love it, but, you know, for now. All right, so we're gonna kick this off. We'll come back to it. All right, so let's talk about the two different kinds of shaders. There's shader fills, and fills are like the material. They're the actual source coloring and things like that. And just think of fills in the same way that you think of fills in Figma. Solid colors, gradients, images, stuff like that. That's a shader fill. Now, they're shaders, so they're a little bit different. So we're gonna come into this fill panel here, and I've already added one, this Water Caustic by Ellie Lin. Now, if I open it up, we're gonna see that we have a bunch of different handles to play with, and I do love to slide a slider. So what I'm gonna do is just slide away, and I can see different phases of this. Not only that, you may have noticed this little thing in the middle, and that's our new on-canvas handles, so I can move it around, so you can directly manipulate and play with this stuff. We're designers, we wanna touch it. So, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring up the scale a little bit. That was a little much, you know, and I wanna do this, maybe bring the intensity down. Yeah, a little moody here. And of course, it's a fill, so I can add every designer's favorite blend mode plus slider. There we go. And on to the next. Now, this may look like just an image to you, but I'm guessing you're smart and you know it's a shader. Now, this is a mesh gradient. So when I open this, you'll see all of these color points. These are also another kind of on-canvas handle. And so, if I move this around, it's using 3D math and geometry to create this thing that is not just your grandma's shader. It's pretty cool. So, what I love about this is, when I worked on the draw team, we used to get a lot of requests for mesh gradients, and we wanted to build it, but we just kept pushing it out. We're like, we gotta get to it, we gotta get to it. What I love about this work stream is that we're building the tools to help you make whatever you want and have your own tools. All right, let's talk about effects. Now, effects sit on top of the materials, and they pull the colors out of it, and they transform them. They can bend them, shape them, morph them, and I'll give you an example of this. Let's say I'm working on this carousel. I've already added a shader effect here on top of these real Figma layers. This isn't an image. And you'll notice as I play with the sliders, I can actually warp this. And you can actually ask Agent to do whatever you want. So I can change the perspective, I can also change, handle, slide this over and over. And I could do this all day. All right, moving on, let's move on to the next one. Let's say I've got this hero card and I'm using a lens distortion shader effect. Now, what's cool about this is it kind of creates that sci-fi feel. I'm like in a bubble looking through glass. And maybe I just want to take it and really amp it. And then I want to take aberration because I will aberrate the world. And so, oh, woo, all right. But you may have noticed that this is a video layer. So let's click play. And I'm going to open this effect again. And as an on-canvas handle, and as, oh no, this is better. Look at this. Pretty rad. All right, now Georgia is heading to Shader City, and this is her boarding pass.
Wait, but Raji, can I have first class?
Oh yeah, I mean, it's easy. It's a real Figma layer. So, but first of all, no middle seats. Gotta go, window. Hey-oh. All right, so you'll notice this inconspicuous effect here that you would have no idea what it's doing. But when I open it, it's called page curl. And you can see, and actually, oh yeah, but let's just spin it. But not only that, you can bake in the kinds of things or ask agent to do what you want. So what if I did texture bleed and I could see the back side of it? All right, wait, I think I'm going back to my agent and let's see. All right, we get it. So, oh, all right, it's asking me for, I've already got it, so let's find it. All right. I think it's looking for another one, so we'll see if we can just add another one here. And we'll apply it. All right, and so we've got a new effect here. This one's a little bit different, but it's great. Now, the cool thing about this, you know, one-shotting is a little bit difficult. Sometimes you don't have the right words, and you can always click this here, go back and edit, and just create this edit loop and keep updating your shaders and your shader effects. Now, I've got one last one for you before we're done. We've got a bunch of different effects on this brand asset. And we can see here that they're stacked. And so I'm gonna turn off one of them. And we've got this one called GUI Merge. And I know how much designers love this. We can take these characters and we can blend them together and GUI merge them. So we'll do a little bit here. But also, we've thrown another lens distortion on there because apparently I'm addicted to that. And then one last one here. Notice effects can be restackable. So if I put the GUI merge on top, it's actually GUI merging the lens distortion effect. And so effects are stackable and you can create incredible different combinations just by reordering. Now let's turn on this other one, interactive particles. I wonder what this is. So this is tracking your mouse interactions and it's incredible. I love it so very much. And if your mind, thank you. I do love it. Well, if your mind is melted, you're not alone. This is just scratching the surface. The best shaders are gonna be the ones that you dream up on your own. And apparently I've loved shaders for years. I can't wait to see what you all do with what we built for you and how far you're gonna push it and how you're gonna inspire us with your own creative genius and ideas.
So whether you've been shader maxing like Raji for years, or this is the first day you heard the word shaders, you can now build the visual effects and fills you've always wanted in Figma.
And rolling out today, you can now build plugins and shader effects and shader fills with the agent. They're available on full seats and all paid plans. The interactive shaders, like the one that I was like, woo, that was fun. Those are coming soon. So we're gonna take the time to get the performance right on those.
Also coming soon, we'll have publishing to your org and the Figma community.
And we've made a handful of these for you to try out, and they're gonna be available in that tools panel.
But the most powerful experiences, they aren't just seen, they're felt. They move people. That's what drew us to the team at Modify, a brilliant group of folks who have a deep creative passion and technical ambition. To share what they've been up to since joining Figma, please help us welcome Piers and Dave.
Hey Config, I'm Piers.
And I'm Dave.
We are really excited to be here.
It is exciting, and when not one, but two British people tell you they're excited, it means it's really rather exciting.
It is. Today, we get to show you something that we've been working on since we joined Figma from Modify a year ago. At Modify, we were a small group of creatives and engineers coming from backgrounds like visual design, music and sound, and real-time graphics. And we believed that the future of creative tools could look different. A collaborative but highly visual canvas capable of a whole new level of expression, one that didn't quite exist anywhere else. We were obsessed with putting the fun back into design tools, real-time and in the browser. And that belief drove everything we built. It's been a while since we joined Figma, and we've seen a few people on X wondering what's been happening. I think we owe them an update.
I mean, it's about time.
Oh, wait. It actually is about time.
I mean, quite literally, as we were easing our way into our first few months, we were trying to figure out what the key framing of our focus at Figma should be. But then we realized the canvas needed a new dimension. Today, we're introducing Figma Motion.
Over the past year, we've worked with an incredible set of people to build Motion directly into Figma. The timeline is a new design primitive. Keyframes, presets, and much more are right at your fingertips. And they flow right through design systems. Let's jump into a demo.
Thank you. Right, here we are in Figma Design. And all I have to do to get into motion mode is come down here, toggle, and when I hit space, our designs spring into life. Each animation you're seeing here has been made with Figma Motion, and it's available to you in beta today. From keyframes and easing controls to styles, variables, and components, all the stuff you already love about Figma now has motion. Let me show you how easy it is to add animation. All I have to do is click the object I want to animate, hit Shift and K to activate Auto Key, drag my object, after I've set my timeline, drag my object. I can put a little bit of rotation, perhaps a little bit of scale. And then, just put this back. When I hit play, it plays. You're going to find some really familiar controls on the canvas. And I can even adjust easing controls as the object is playing.
And this is really important because animation is one of those things that you really have to feel your way through. The timing, the sequencing, the finessing, being able to duplicate and iterate and compare visually right on the canvas really makes all the difference. We spent a lot of time getting things like snapping, zooming, panning, drag to multi-select and transform, all behaving exactly as you would expect. But we know that building up animations laboriously on the timeline can get kind of tedious sometimes. So here you can also lean on Agent to help. I can just drag, whoops. Let's say I'm working on animations for these 3 designs. I can just drag to select all of the designs at the same time, jump into Agent, and say something like fade in all images, slide and fade in text concurrently. Nice, try and spell that in front of 10,000 people. And then fade out again to create a perfect loop. And just kick that off. I ran this same one shot earlier, so I'll just pan over to the results that we got and take a look. Nice, that's already looking good. Okay, but something about it isn't quite right. The transition out animation is a bit slow, especially in comparison to the transition in. But that's okay, because everything that the agent generates for me is completely editable. So I can jump into the timeline. Yeah, jump into the timeline, drag to select my keyframes, just adjust that timing, and then take a look at my animation. Nice, that's looking a lot snappier. As you were watching a minute ago, Agent can also help you build plugins. And these are also fully compatible with Figma Motion. One of the things I find myself doing all the time is dragging objects on the timeline to adjust timing to bring things in one at a time. When you bring everything in at once, it just looks really boring. But this is really tedious, trying to line all of the blocks up. So I prompted a tool to help me with this. Let's take a look. So I can open the Timeline Keyframe Stagger plugin, hit Command-A to select all of my objects, and then I'll just choose a couple of options and click Apply Stagger. And just like that, all of my objects are coming in one at a time. I can flip the order maybe to have things come in from the other direction. But if I want to get really fancy, I can also drag to create a shape with a Bezier curve, and then apply that to the objects on the timeline. So now I have everything coming in following a nice curve. I honestly couldn't kind of believe it when I first got this working. I think it took maybe 4 or 5 prompts to get this tool there. So hyped that it worked. You can create whatever you need to automate processes that you find yourself doing frequently. And once the tool is created, those workflows become fast and repeatable.
So we've seen how to build motion from scratch and how agents can help along the way. But what if I wanted my design to really, stand out? We're building 3D transforms in Figma. X, Y, and Z properties can all be animated. Our awesome vectors team, the same team that bought you Figma Draw last year, are hard at work at this. This is just a preview, but it was far too cool not to share with you. This is so much fun to play with. Look at these controls. So much fun. Okay. What you've seen so far today is pretty powerful by itself. But what makes this really cool is what's underpinning it. And that's the rest of Figma's platform. Because, it really does make it feel like a new way of working. Let me show you. This is a file from our team. You can see that there's already some comments here on the canvas, and of course, they now appear on the timeline too. There's also components with animation, and these are nested inside this frame here. It looks like we've got a couple of collaborators here. I can see Tom. Well, yeah, give it up to Tom. And as edits are made in those components, they filter through into the scene in real time. Now, let's see what happens if we spotlight Miggy. I now see Miggy's position on the timeline, which is invaluable if he's trying to walk me through his motion. Thank you, yeah. This level of real-time creative control, collaboration, and flexibility hasn't existed in motion design before.
Another really exciting thing about building all of these capabilities on top of the rest of Figma is what it means for the combination of motion and effects. Earlier, we showed you shader effects, which hugely expand the expressive range of Figma. Every effect and fill provides a set of properties that you can tweak, and all of those can also be animated. So let's take a look at creating a design which combines motion and shaders. Here, I have a design which animates these three objects. I'm quite happy with the motion, but I want to kind of elevate it a bit. So I'm going to jump in and just turn on the outlines effect here. As soon as I turn that on, it's applied in real time on top of the animation in my canvas and dynamically respects the motion of the objects underneath. So this is the same shader effects you saw earlier, but applied on top of animated content. There are properties that I can tweak, which I can do while it's playing. But let's say that I want to animate one of those properties. I'll go back to the beginning of the timeline, and let's just update spacing. I'll set an initial value. Then I'll jump to the middle of the timeline, set a value for the middle. And then I'll actually copy and paste that keyframe from the start to the end, just to create a perfect loop. And just like that, the spacing is animated. And you can even see the slider moving in real time as the animation plays. We haven't got to the really cool bit yet.
Yeah.
All right. As Roger was showing you earlier, it's by stacking and combining effects that you can create really next-level results. So let's take a look at a couple of designs that take things a bit further. This animation makes use of path trimming and Figma Draw textured brush strokes to create this type animation. It looks pretty great already, but again, let's try and turn it up a bit. So I'll go into this container and just turn on a couple of effects. The noise displacement effect first gives it a bit of wobble, makes it feel a bit more organic. And then if I turn on this chromatic aberration effect, we'll get some nice color bleed at the start and end of the timeline. So just by turning on those two effects, I've really elevated this design and given it a whole new feel. What do you think?
Piers, that is dope.
It is dope. It is dope, I agree. All right. Now let's take a look at something a bit more product design oriented. For this goal reached screen, we want to reinforce the feeling of really having unlocked this reward. So we've combined motion and shaders to make it feel really compelling. If I scrub the timeline slowly, you'll be able to get an idea of what's going on. The effect can actually distort parts of the design, all while Figma Motion is animating other parts of the design. And this is not a video. If I jump in and make changes to the text, for example, then everything just updates in real time as it's playing. Each of these takes a base design that is built with Figma Motion and combines effects on top, which are also animated with motion, to create expressive and differentiated results. I've honestly been losing days just playing with this combination of features. It is genuinely hard to believe I'm in Figma sometimes. And often the results that I end up with after spending a lot of time getting deep into exploration are really different from what I first had in mind.
Now, you're probably wondering, how do we get this motion into production? When you're ready to build, switch to dev mode. Extract that code directly or send it via the Figma MCP to your LLM or, of course, Figma Make. Here's a design guide site that we've been able to create with some of the tools you've seen here today and the Figma MCP. And just to be clear, the animations here have been shipped in code. But if shipping to code isn't quite your cup of tea, you can export as MP4, WebM, animated SVG, or GIF. Gotta love those GIFs. And we're already working on delivering more formats and export types.
All right. So, Motion is rolling out today in beta on all plans and full seats. Obligatory phrase, we cannot wait to see what you do with it. And before the end, we wanted to show you what's possible and just give you all a little bit of inspiration. So we gave our incredibly talented brand team the combination of shaders and Figma Motion, and they used them to animate the entire launch film. What you're seeing on screen at the moment is kind of the behind the scenes, like inside the Figma file. And we kind of couldn't believe it when we started looking inside this file and seeing what they'd created. It's so cool to start to see these features being used in practice. Making Motion a reality has brought together a huge number of people from many different parts of Figma. And we are so proud not only to be able to share all of this with you today, but also to see what our internal teams have been able to start doing with it. Next up, you'll see the finished film. Before Dylan comes back to the stage, we would love for you to watch it. Thank you.
Thank you. Wow. That was awesome. Motion designers are just so talented. I have always had the deepest respect for motion designers. They are able to create things that others cannot even articulate or explain, let alone replicate. And so many of us have always wanted to be able to also make that kind of magic, yet it's felt out of reach. I've been amazed as we've developed Figma Motion, how intuitive it feels, and also how it feels intuitive despite how powerful it is. So I really hope that Figma Motion can inspire all of you, and I cannot wait to see what all of you make with Figma Motion. So throughout all the demos, you may have noticed once or twice Figma Agent at work. Yesterday, it rolled out to everyone, and it's evolving really fast. The Figma Agent also supports attachments and connectors, as well as attachments. Now, connectors let you pull in context from all sorts of other tools, and we've launched them with Notion, Slack, Granola, Hex, GitHub, and Atlassian. So now you can pull data from all those surfaces right into your designs. Custom skills are also now a part of the agent. And yes, I am so excited about skills. Honestly, I think we could have done an entire keynote just on skills. With skills, you can turn the prompts that you keep coming back to into reusable slash commands. And whether that's checking for compliance or creating a synthetic user test or capturing a workflow that you're doing all the time and you want to automate for your team, this is such a booster. And we've been using them all over Figma in our process. I'm really excited for y'all to try them out.
But of course, we're not going to stop there. What if the Figma agent wasn't just for Figma design? What if it could translate your code base into structured diagrams? That'd be cool. Distill loose ideas into prioritization and next steps, timelines even. Or turn customer briefs into on-brand pitch decks, or more. So yes, coming soon, we will have the FigJam agent and the slide agent, and I'm really, really excited to share more about this with you at a later date. All right, today we introduced new materials and new tools to the Figma canvas. To recap, Figma Motion, generative plugins, shaders, and weave tools are now in open beta. Go try them out, check them out, give us all the feedback in the world. None of these updates will consume AI credits while in beta. Coming soon, code layers, the FigJam agent, the slides agent. These are all coming soon in closed beta. So if you're wanting to be first in line to try these out, go sign up for early access, figma.com/config-betas with an S. Just give you all a second. All right, you got it. There's so much more to all the launches. We could have gone endlessly deep on each one of them. And so I hope you'll have a chance to talk more with the team. Stop by the product studio. It's right outside that way to talk with the Figmates who built these features. They would love to chat with y'all and get your thoughts, your feedback, your reactions. It's what we live for is user feedback. But also, check out the deep dives if you have something that you're really interested in checking out and learning more about. And you can go deeper on everything we've covered. We've got a bunch of them in the agenda. Everything you saw today, code, motion, your own tools, your own materials, it all lives together in the canvas. For the first time, it's in one place. All of these materials, they compose together. And that allows you to riff and to play at the speed at which you think. So now the canvas is more than where your work lives. It's also where it all connects. Like I said earlier, AI, it can lower the floor. It's up to all of you to raise the ceiling. And our goal is to give you all the power you need to push that ceiling right to the stratosphere. So, go make something that only you can make. And please join me also in thanking all the Figmates who made today's launches possible, and also config possible. I have so much gratitude for our amazing team, and yes, we're hiring. We also have so much incredible programming to come over the next today and tomorrow. Really look forward to meeting many of you, and I can't wait to hear what you think of all the talks. One last thing. I talked about how this is our 10th config. We're excited to go on the road later this year for our 11th config. So if you want to join us, on October 15th, come to Bangalore, India. All right, y'all, that's a wrap. Thank you again, and happy config!